Hey everyone, I'm Deborah J. Kelly, intrepid explorer of the mind, the body and the soul. And if you want to check out more information from me, I'll leave a link below. You can check me out on www.deborahjkelly.com. So today I wanted to do a very quick video, and essentially it's just a musing that I have, so a little thought provoker. And I'd love to know your comments on it. I'd love to know what you think about it. But years and years and years ago as a kid, I remember having this memory of a movie that I saw whereby it was like a big huge white room, and in the white room there's like a big huge window, and the window looked out onto the top of canopies of trees and green, and it was really, really beautiful. The room itself seemed to be solid, as in it had walls and ceilings and floors. But in saying that, it seemed to not be solid, as though it was kind of made from light that looked solid. And in the room, there was also like this big glass dome, and in the big glass dome, there was like these clouds and kind of moving pictures in it. So it looked as though you could kind of look down on, life below, or kind of like a crystal ball kind of thing. And then there was like a big chair, which was a bit like a dentist's chair or something like that you'd see. And on the side of it, there was like this computer attached to the side of it. And basically you sat in this chair at this computer, and you kind of, had to look through this menu, and you kind of made different choices on the menu. And on the menu were like these life choices. So it seemed in this movie, it essentially seemed as though, somebody kind of, just for experience purposes, would choose, well, in the next lifetime I'm going to be rich, or because I was rich in my last lifetime I'm going to be poor in this one, just for the experience to kind of know what it's like. Or my last lifetime I experienced loads of rejection, and I kind of knew what that felt like, and I understand that now, and I kind of mastered it in my last lifetime, so I'd like to experience love in this lifetime, etc. So it was kind of like a menu of life experiences that you kind of just tick off and kind of go, okay, well, in my next lifetime I'm going to have this, this, this and this, and basically then that's what you get in your next lifetime. And I remember seeing this movie, and I remember being like, what is this? I just couldn't remember the name of it. I couldn't remember any of the rest of the movie. It was just kind of that one scene. And through the years, when you're kind of chatting with your mates and you're reminiscing over, old cartoons that you'd have as kids, and suddenly you're all singing the intro tunes to some of your favorite Saturday morning cartoons. This was one of the kind of memories that I have that I'd share with people, and they'd be like, no, I don't know what it is. So I could never put my finger on it. And then not long ago, I was doing loads of work. I basically was traveling around the world. I was doing loads of different types of therapies and working with lots of different healers and shamans, and all these very intuitive people. And it dawned on me, and it became very, very clear that the memory of this movie that I had was in fact not a memory of a movie. It was a memory, but I believe and I feel that it was from my Akashic records. And I was pretty blown away. I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. It just makes so much sense to me. And so since then, I feel my own life has been a little bit like, I kind of feel like I've left myself breadcrumbs along the way. And these little breadcrumbs kind of serve to wake me up and bring me back to memories of, why I'm here, what it's all about, and all that kind of thing. That's my belief, that's my feeling, and that's my understanding, I should say my current understanding. Because as life happens and you discover more new things about yourself, you discover parts of those jigsaw pieces that you've been collecting through the years, and you've been putting everything together, you suddenly realise that this jigsaw piece that you've been putting together over here actually works better over here. And so that's how I kind of feel my own spiritual journey has been. So my musing for today, and something that I have started to feel really it really resonates with me, this particular concept and idea. And at the end of the day, we're on a spiritual journey. Nobody has all the answers. There's not one person who can really say, I have it totally sussed out, I know exactly everything, and it's 100%. All we can do is feel into our own journey from our own perspective, and feel into what feels right for us. And so with all that's going on in the world at the moment, and all these crazy narratives that are happening and are interlaced and woven one over the other, what I've come to understand is there is no such thing as good or bad. And the reason I say that is, if everything comes from source, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, divine, if we all come from one, and we're all living out these independent perspectives of that one, which essentially is what we're doing, then in essence, there's no such thing as good or bad. There's just experiences. And so what I've come to understand, and what I feel for me in my own perspective, in my own world, which I feel is correct, I feel that if there's no such thing as good or bad, it would make sense that when I had this memory of going back into the Akashic records, when I'm sitting into this room and I'm kind of choosing what my next life experience is going to be, if we are all doing that, then essentially we're just choosing experiences. So in my past life, I might have been a bad person, and this lifetime I'm a good person. And somebody else in their last lifetime might have had a similar thing happen and go on with them. And so really, when we're on our own journey in this life, and we're moving about in this world, having our own experiences, and we come across what we see to be bad people, then essentially, ultimately, they're just living out an experience that they chose before they come to this world, or before they came to this world. I'm living out my experience that I chose before I came to this world. And sometimes they may or may not overlap. Sometimes they will overlap and we feel hard done by, or we go through terrible life experiences where we've been wronged, or somebody's hurt us, or some serious trauma has happened, or abuse, or whatever it is. And I've had a lot of these things happen, so I'm speaking from personal experience. But there's a beautiful surrender that we can take when we can realize that if we can look at this experience that we have on this planet at this time as simply that, it's just a collection of experiences for wisdom and understanding, to be able to look at things from a different viewpoint. So as I said, in my last life I could have been a bad person, and I might have been like, well, I saw all these good people in that last life, and it'd be nice to kind of know what their life is like. Or equally, I could have been great in a past life and then decided, well, for one of my next lives, I'm going to see what it's like to be a bad person. So I think, and I feel that if we could see our own journey as a collection of experiences that we've chosen, regardless of what they are, if we can see them as just that they're just experiences and signposts to remind us that we're all on the same journey together. We're all coming from the same place. We're all, for argument's sake, coming from that big white room where our essence is love and light. We're all in that big white room together, choosing our next experiences and our next lifetimes. And we all come together, cross over in different in different timelines or whatever, and I'm having my experiences that I've chosen, somebody else is having their experiences that they've chosen. Sometimes we cross paths, and those paths are there to make us look at ourselves and ask questions about ourselves and why we feel particular ways. And if we were to understand that other people who we perceive to be bad or negative or evil or whatever it is, if we can truly find somewhere in our heart to realize that we were all in that big white room together before, and we chose these experiences, and this person that we perceive to be really bad has just chosen that particular experience for their lifetime, and we just happen to cross paths, then we could have a lot more compassion for ourselves We could have a lot more compassion for other people. We can understand that forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior, but it's about understanding that the other person has their own unique path, as same as we do ourselves. And it would allow us to release control of the need to massage our ego to feel right, and basically to have a right and wrong. If nothing is right or wrong and it's just an experience, then we can let go of the outcome. We can let go and we can just release into the flow. So that was my little pondering for today. I would love to know what you think about that. If you disagree, perfect. If you don't, if you do agree, perfect. We are all on our own individual life journeys. We are 100% correct in our own worlds, and you are 100% correct in your world, and I am 100% correct in my world. And if we can just respect each other's lives and each other's journeys as just being that, they're just journeys, they're just lives, and we're here to bring compassion and understanding to each other as humans. And that's basically essentially what I'm saying. So in behind it all, we are one. We come from the same place. We're all coming from source. As I kind of often say, we are both the painting and the painter. We are both the puppeteer and the puppet. So we are both source and one, and we are all individual perspectives living out this world. So yeah, here's a little bit of food for thought for you. So let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe below and leave me your comments, and check my website out, www.deborahjkelly.com. And I'm also on Instagram as well. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.